Tuatara Brewery in Paraparaumu is New Zealand's largest independent craft brewery, making around 2 million litres of beer each year. In 2014, Tuatara pulled together 4 other Kiwi craft breweries, collectively targeting the UK market as the New Zealand Craft Beer Collective.
About 15 years ago, we set up a little brewery at my place, a farm in Rikarangi. The idea was that we could make some beer there. I'd be able to at least drink it myself. And the goal was to sell some to someone else. I set up there with a couple of partners that own bars in Wellington, and they had the route to market which we needed. And together we were able to formulate recipes and do some research and development, feedback from the bar customers, and we formulated our recipes going forward that has helped us to get to where we are now. I got into brewing probably 20 odd years ago. The only beer really available in New Zealand was from the main 2 breweries. What sets craft beer apart from the mainstream beers is generally the process and also the choice of ingredients. We endeavour to use all natural products, no sugar, and the process is what the process we've been using in brewing for the last 1,000 years probably. At Tuatara, all our beers are batch brewed, and we brew it at what we call market strength. So we don't brew it strong and dilute it down, which is a practice used around the world. We like to source all our ingredients, if we possibly can, from New Zealand suppliers. We've got a good barley grower and malter in Dunsandel and also in Martin that we're using local ingredients. And also we got most of our hops from Nelson, which is the New Zealand hop growing area. We're seeing a bit of a trend with the drink driving laws changing to some good quality lower alcohol beers. So we're heading down that way. And also we're looking at moving towards some sours and some Belgian ales. Keeping our beer in boutique or as a craft line is not a problem, providing we run with our ideals of sourcing good ingredients and following correct manufacturing practices. There's some craft breweries in the States that are 10 times bigger than even Lion and DB, and they're still putting out good craft beer. So yes, it can be done.
We want to be one of those businesses who says, look, actually, the new generation of Kiwi businesses could and should be long-term sustainable enterprises that grow and grow and grow and grow. And we think that the mechanism for doing that is to get really wonderful stability around the business domestically, around those kind of core 4 pillars of the business, around product and brand and channel and supply chain, all underpinned by wonderful people and financial rigour. And then say, okay, let's look offshore, because as wonderful as New Zealand is, and it's an amazing place to live, and many of us come back from living overseas to live here and grow our kids here, there are only 4 million of us. And so it's quite hard to grow business ad infinitum forevermore. In New Zealand, you've only got 4 million people, a whole bunch of penguins and sheep. So really going offshore makes a lot of sense to us.
That big citrus hit. Big nose and it's
I guess it makes sense that it should be just a little less dark, right? You take the innate creativity in the Kiwi mentality and you layer over that the fact that our hops here are very, very unique, and they have very, very unique profile, aroma and flavour. And you mix those 2 things together, what you wind up with is a product that is actually really, really distinctive and unique. Distinctive nose, distinctive flavour. And that product is what we're trying to peddle in the rest of the world. And the rest of the world saying, this is amazing. What are these hops? Because we haven't had anything like that locally. And the great thing about New Zealand is that with that kind of hop growing, we've actually created the wine guys would call it a terroir. And we've created a terroir for our hops. And that's very unique and distinctive. And that gives us some really great storytelling availability. The whole concept of buddying up with other entities in New Zealand, I think, is a bit of a hobby horse for us. I don't think, personally, that New Zealand businesses collaborate enough. And it's sort of nuts. And you go to places, very collaborative business spaces like Silicon Valley, and you see how much they're collaborating. Arch competitors are collaborating at certain levels to grow the overall sector. So we made the decision last year to get together with a bunch of other guys in the craft brewing fraternity and put together an export collective. which shares, you know, some of the backbone of export, you know, the logistics, you get cheaper rates, freight rates, but also in-market representation and distribution. So what actually automatically happens overnight is your guy on the ground in those markets gets to walk into these places and say, hey, look, I'm representing the New Zealand Craft Beer Collective. You know, we think it's the great and good of NZ craft right now, and here's the portfolio. It's these series of brands and they're complementary, and they have these series of products and they're complementary. And it makes it way easier for those accounts to say, this is great, it's a one-stop shop, I'm going to take all of that, whack it on my shelf, and away we go. I mean, that's utopian, but it is actually sort of happening that way for us in London.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.